أهلا بكم. حديثنا اليوم عن العلاقات الفرنسية الكويتية. لمناقشة هذا الموضوع معنا اليوم سعادة سفيرة دولة فرنسا صديقة لدى الكويت السفيرة كلير لوفيشر. مرحبا فيك سعادة السفيرة. سعادة السفيرة، كيف تقيمين العلاقة ما بين الكويت وفرنسا وما أوجه التعاون بين الدولتين؟
The relationship between France and Kuwait are very strong and very ancient. As you know, France was one of the first countries to recognize the independence of Kuwait in 1961. We also have very strong ties because of the involvement of France in the liberation of Kuwait in 1991. But of course, even without this very sad episode for Kuwaiti people, we would have been very close friends because we share common values, especially as for the regional situation and the crisis. We have common views and we often have the same votes at the United Nations, and for that France is very grateful to Kuwait. I wanted also to mention the fact that our strategic dialogue has been raised at ministerial level last year after the visit of our Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian in Kuwait, and I'm very proud of that as Ambassador of France in Kuwait, because Kuwait has this level of dialogue with very few countries, and I see it as a proof of the very strong links between our two countries.
محورنا الثاني وهو التبادل الاقتصادي. يا ليت سعادة السفيرة تكلمينا عن حجم التبادل الاقتصادي والتعاون بين الكويت وفرنسا.
Kuwait and France have very strong ties. As you know, France is the third European supplier of Kuwait. We have, of course, a lot of French investments in Kuwait. We have companies such as Saint-Gobain. We have, of course, Airbus, who is here, and many other companies. And on the other side, we have many Kuwaiti investments in France, and we are very willing to develop them and even further, because for us, Kuwait is really a privileged partner in the Gulf.
هناك اتفاق بين الكويت وفرنسا لزيادة عدد المنح الدراسية للطلاب الكويتيين الذين يقومون بالدراسة في فرنسا.
Many Kuwaiti students go to France to study, and we are very happy to have them because it's a very good opportunity for our country to present our culture, for Kuwaiti to understand how we live in France and how much France is a friendful country for Kuwait. And of course, we would like to improve and develop even more these links. We relaunched Campus France Kuwait, of course, as you know, because of COVID, many things had to stop. And we are really so happy that life now is back to normal, and we can restart the exchanges of students between France and Kuwait. But we also have many cooperation in education. As you know, more than 100 French universities are currently accredited by Kuwaiti universities. And we have these days the visit of INALCO, the French Institute for Oriental Studies. And they are here to visit Kuwaiti universities and to develop furthermore our project of cooperation. So it is just one example of the many cooperation we have, and we will have even more in the coming months and year between France and Kuwait.
That's good. أيضا موضوع التعاون العسكري، نعرف أن هناك تدريب ضباط عسكريين كويتيين. خلينا نتكلم عن موضوع التعاون العسكري وتدريب الضباط الكويتيين في فرنسا.
As you know, France and Kuwait have since 1992 a defense agreement. Yes. It is very important for us. This agreement was based on the principle of training of Kuwaiti military because we want our armies to develop the interoperability between our armies, because if we have to fight together, we need to understand each other and to know how we function. So that's the reason why many Kuwaiti were trained in France. Since 1990, I think it is several hundreds that's already have studied in France. And most education programs were conducted with the French Navy and Army academies, and some have been carried also in the Air Force. So we have these three dimensions involved. And as you know, many Kuwaiti officers speak fluently French because of their years in France. Some of them are married to French women. Some of them even came and settled in Kuwait and are very happy here. So it is, yes, a very important part of our bilateral relations.
سعادة سفيرة، احنا نعيش بالكويت، عشنا يمكن الأيام السابقة عملية ديمقراطية وانتخاب في الكويت. كلمينا عن الديمقراطية في الكويت والانتخابات في الكويت وما شاهدتيه يمكن من افتتاح مجلس الأمة الكويتي.
First of all, I would like to congratulate again Kuwait for the success of its recent elections. And I can say that it is not in so many countries in the world that you have fair and transparent elections with a competitive electoral race, no government interference, and a result that has no, serious contest from one part or another. So really, I want to stress the fact that for France, it means that Kuwaiti democracy is deep and strong and alive. Of course, and we know that in France, when you have a democratic system, sometimes you can have also problems, you can have internal fights, you can have, some difficulties, but that's the price to pay for democracy. And it is not such a high price when we can see the success of the Kuwaiti elections. I would like to mention the fact that 2 women have been elected in the parliament, that 2 women are members of the government. So I'm very happy of it because I think it expresses deep truth about what Kuwait is.
مدام ذكرت المرأة وحصول امرأتين على دخولهم مجلس الأمة ووزيرتين، تمكين المرأة والحرية للمرأة في الكويت كيف تصفينها؟
I used to say there is a very strong common point between Kuwait and Brittany. It's the region of France I'm originally from, like was Anne-Claire Lejeune, my predecessor. And in the countries of sailors, when men are on boats because they have to fish the pearls, women have a lot of power because they are carrying the country, the family, the house, and everything. And really, that's what I feel in Kuwait. You have so many prominent women in all fields, with very high responsibilities, in private sector, in banks, in companies, but also in NGOs, in education, of course, and even in culture, in all fields. And now we can say even in politics, because women have been elected MPs and 2 women are ministers. So I think it's really something Kuwaiti can be proud of. And I can really express the fact that as a woman ambassador, and I used to say to my authorities in France, it's paradise for a women ambassador because Kuwaiti are very, very respectful with women. And it's a really very strong asset for the country because we all know that countries that give freedom to women and let them express their talents are the more successful countries in today's world.
بنتقل من الشأن المحلي الكويتي إلى الشأن المحلي العالمي أوكرانيا. أزمة عالمية. كيف ترى فرنسا الوضع الحالي للصراع وما يحصل في أوكرانيا وما هو الحلول في اعتقادك؟
First of all, I would like to express the fact that we are extremely grateful to Kuwait for its strong and brave positions from the beginning of the war. Kuwait was the first and only Arabic country to support the vote at the Security Council before the vote at the General Assembly. And ever since, Kuwait has really clearly expressed its support to international order and to rule of law, and the fact that the sovereignty of the countries had to be respected in general, and for Ukraine in particular. And I wanted also to stress the fact that Kuwaiti was one of the 143 countries that voted the resolution at the UN Assembly to condemn the illegal annexation of territories of Ukraine by Russia. And, you know, I'm very close to Russia. I speak Russian. I really love this country. I really want to say that the strong position we have is not because we don't like Russia and don't appreciate Russia. It's really because we have to condemn certain behaviors, whoever does it and where it comes from. And I think today's the Russian behavior is a threat for international order. So now it's for Ukraine. But if we don't stop it, if we don't express the fact that we don't want these behaviors to happen, tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, other weaker countries will have problems with their powerful neighbors. And I know for Kuwaiti, what I say has a very deep, deep, deep meaning. And really, I want to express it strongly. France is a friendly country. We are very friendly with Russia, but we cannot accept that sort of behaviors.
يمكن كمسلمين وعرب نهتم في القضية الفلسطينية. موقف فرنسا من القضية الفلسطينية.
You know, France, like Kuwait, is very willing to find a solution to the problem of Palestine, and has been strongly working in the region to find solution, and for a very long time. Of course, France and like Kuwait supports the two states solution. We think there is no solution without this two states on this territory, and of course we recognize the international status of Al-Quds, and the recent escalation of violence in Palestine is very worrying, and we are very concerned by it, and we strongly express our support to our Palestinian friends in the very difficult times they are going through.
يمكن الفرنسيين والحكومة الفرنسية تهتم في موضوع لبنان. موقف فرنسا لحل الأزمة اللبنانية حتى ترجع مستقرة.
As you know, France is naturally attached to Lebanon's stability and prosperity. We have strong ties with Lebanon. As you know, President Macron expressed his support to the country by numerous visits. He was here just after what happened in August 2020, and ever since he expressed its support and the support of France by all means. As you know, we deblocked an exceptional aid of more than 100 million euros the past year, focusing on education and health and, let's say, basic needs of the population. We really encourage strongly Lebanon to engage profound reforms in order to allow the Lebanese people to move forward, because the situation now in Lebanon is very difficult for the people. And of course, we are very happy with the agreement on the maritime borders, and we hope it is a first step for an improvement of the global situation for Lebanon.
That's good. السؤال الأخير سعادة السفيرة، موضوع ليبيا. يعني اليوم هناك صراع داخلي في ليبيا، ودائما فرنسا تتدخل لحل الأزمات. هل ممكن هناك قيام بتدخل عسكري لحل الأزمة للوضع الليبي، أو ما هو رأي الفرنسيين الحكومة الفرنسية لحل الأزمة الليبية؟
First of all, I would like to say that we are very happy with the recent designation with Mr. Batteli, who is United Nations Special Envoy for Libya, because United Nations have a very strong role to play in Libya. We are also very strong supporters of UNAMIL mission. Of course, we are very worried by the recent escalation of violence in Tripoli. The ceasefire of 2020 is really the cornerstone to find a solution to the situation. And also, we are worried about the recent energy deal between Tripoli and the government of Turkey, because this unilateral action raises issues of sovereign rights of European countries in the Mediterranean Sea. And as you know, France, like Kuwait, aims at being a power of balance. We want to preserve stability in countries, and we want to avoid new failed states on the planet, already too many of them, and that's why we have to find solution by diplomatic means.
أنا في نهاية الحلقة شاكر لك، نستقطعنا جزء من وقتك لتصوير الحلقة، وأنا أدري عن مشاغلك الكثيرة، أتمنى أشوفك في حلقة ثانية. أنا أشكر سعادة سفيرة دولة فرنسا الصديقة لدى الكويت السفيرة كلير على هذا اللقاء. شكرا لك.
شكرا لك.
شكرا لك. أعزائي المشاهدين، وصل نهاية برنامج ديوان الملا. مع السلامة.